Getting real analog synth recordings from your DAW is super easy. Head on over to NeiroAudio.com, purchase the N106 plugin, and then let's go to the downloads page. From the downloads page, if you've purchased any Neiro plugins, you should see the purchase label on top of the tile. Let's click on the download button, and I'm going to go Mac installer since I'm on a Mac. If you look at your downloads folder, you should see a package installer now, and this is going to install the AAX plugin, the VST3, as well as the AU component. After installing, we can get started. I'm going to go to Ableton Live, and I already have a pre-arranged track ready to load the plugin into. Inside of the plugins drawer in Ableton Live, we'll now see a Neiro folder with the N106 plugin. I'm going to drag that on my first MIDI track. The first time you open the plugin, you'll be prompted to log in. You're going to use the same email and password as you used to purchase the plugin. Alright, once we're in, we can check out how the digital emulation sounds. Cool, I see we have a second MIDI track that looks like a bass line. I'm going to go ahead and throw another instance on there. I'm going to go ahead and select the preset Synth Bass 1. Let's check out what that sounds like. Cool, that's pretty nice. Going back to the first arpeggio instance of N106, let's craft the sound a little bit. This init patch is actually pretty good. I think it's what I want to go with. I do want a little longer release. Kind of have the notes bleed over into the next phrase. Cool. Alright, I'm going to make one more change, and I'm going to make a parameter automation for the VCF frequency. So let's open the drawer, click on that parameter, show automation, and I'm going to automate it pretty much up to where it currently is. Okay, that wasn't as dramatic as I wanted, so I'm going to add second automation to the envelope in the VCF. Right click on that, show automation, and we're going to have this kind of ramp up. There we go. Cool, so if you want to hear it rendered on a real analog synth, we're going to head over to the render tab, and we're going to capture the MIDI data. So all you have to do is click on the Make It Real button, play the MIDI you want, and you will have a real analog recording from a real synthesizer at a remote location within minutes. Cool, once I stop that, we could preview the MIDI below. We see that it looks about right. So I'm just going to name it ARP demo, and we'll render. Now we can see we have a single item in our render queue. It says 0 seconds, that means there's no one in line, and that means momentarily we'll flip to render, and we'll see the progress on our render job. We can see it already. You'll be able to monitor the progress as the recording is taking place live. You'll be able to download the audio file, manipulate it, do whatever you want with it. As this is loading in your account profile, you can always view a history of every render you've ever done in My Renders. You could flip between devices if you have purchased both. You could see the current one is currently rendering, and the history of all the tests and songs I've produced with this. So back to Ableton, we can see the job is almost completed. Alright, our job is finished downloading. Now when we listen back to the playback, we're going to hear the Neiro N106 playback in real analog recording rather than the digital emulation. Cool. Let's A/B it, see if you can tell the difference. If I disable this clip, this will play a digital emulation and it will show you the label of what it's currently playing. All right, let's re-enable it and test out the analog. Cool. You can be the judge of how different it sounds. To me, it sounds a lot more buttery, smooth, glued together, warm, kind of has the frequencies in between the digital frequencies, and just kind of sits in the mix better. So what if I want to manipulate the audio? Well, that's no problem at all. I'm going to turn off automation for cleaner look. I'm going to add an audio track. With any Neiro plugin, you can always drag out the audio file to a new audio lane and then treat it like a normal recording. So if I wanted to make some adjustments, if I wanted to pitch it up or down, you know, we can do that. So I'm going to make sure Ableton doesn't warp it so it aligns properly. And let's listen to the audio. So we can do whatever we want with it. Now it's just a regular audio file. These are stored on your computer. If you're concerned about space, check out our FAQs. We tell you how to delete them, where they're stored on each computer. If you have any other questions, reach out to hello@neiroaudio.com, and thanks for checking it out.